Hey ladies, happy Wednesday. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. I don't have my lavalier today, so I'm relying on technology and this laptop computer microphone to be working. So guys, you look amazing. How's everybody feeling today?
Great.
Yes.
Great as well.
Skinny girl. Yes. My God, hitting that goal. Well, in that range, I love it. You look amazing.
That was a challenge.
But you met it.
Hey, like all water, basically a water only diet for 14 days. Come on, y'all. That's right. You know, that's close to Jesus, right? What? She touching him. Look, come on, G-Stat.
Miss Tammy. So guys, we done jumped in already, but I'm Gail, your personal development coach.
I'm Jessica, your millennial life coach.
And I'm Tammy, your spiritual motivator.
And we have a lifetime guest.
Come back, please. Come back.
I've been having a ball with you all. It's been so fun. And I'm just grateful that you all keep asking me back. And I see people want me back too. So I feel great. I feel great to be here. And again, it's just so surreal because I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but when I was in middle school, I actually used to work like some of the audio visual equipment for the morning announcements and be on the morning announcements, and same thing in high school. So to have been on this podcast now as a guest for, the past, 3, is this this is my third now, right? Episode. Yeah. It's just so real. It's like you just never know what you have done in the past is how it's going to help you or where it's going to take you in the future. I'm tapping into those skills and just watching you all like this. This platform is amazing. So thank you.
You have 4 squares. It's just perfect.
It's a perfect balance. It's like the missing puzzle piece has come together.
Yay. We got baby boomers and millennials.
Millennials right at the top. Hey.
Hey, Gail, because we're holding it. You're the foundation.
Yep, you're holding it down. I love that.
You're welcome.
There you go.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I love Tammy so much. So guys, we're still on our same journey of self-love, self-discovery, but we're moving on from the negotiables. We are now, we want to see what self-love looks like, because we hear that term thrown around a lot, right? But, and we like to keep it tactical, because our goal has always been to empower women, to help women just navigate through these life challenges, because there's always something going on. There's like never a perfect time for anything. And, it's never the right time. You just have to jump in there. We want to be the fire chief, but as my old boss used to say, but we end up being the chief firefighters and having to as we go along the way. So today I want to talk a little bit about what self-love looks like when you're healing from hurt. Because that's a common theme oftentimes with us females. And, unfortunately, sometimes the hurt isn't even realized. We'll go through things, we will self-soothe or do whatever we have to do, and no one may ever know that we're hurting, or our face and our actions and our daily lives, you would never know what we've gone through or are going through. So I kind of want to jump in and talk a little bit about how self-love looks after healing from hurt. Who want to jump in there?
I can jump in real quickly. For me personally, and being a life coach, this is one of the things that I stress to my clients is that healing is a journey. It's not something that, oh, I'm going to heal for this next month and the month after I'm going to be good. Healing is a journey. It's you going through the motions, the ups and the downs.
Did she freeze?
I thought it was just me because I'm usually the one with the technologist.
No.
Yeah, you froze, but you're back now.
Okay, I'm sorry, you guys, but I don't know where I froze at, but let me rewind it.
Journeys.
But healing is a journey, and sometimes it's the motions of it. It's the ups and downs. It's a roller coaster, and you can feel okay one day, even one moment, and then the next moment you're feeling even worse than you did before. So healing isn't something that we just automatically do within one session. It's the journey overall. But there is going to be a point where you reach a point you're going to reach in life and say, okay, this isn't affecting me as big as it did in the past. And at that point, you figured out that you've conquered something, that you overcame something. Not that it won't revisit your life later on, but how you react to it isn't as drastic as it was once before. So all in all, healing is not something that we just do in a moment. It's something that we take along our life journey, and overall we accomplish the thing of trying to get over it piece by piece.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It is absolutely a journey. I agree.
Yes.
Anybody want to jump in? Because I can talk.
Well, I could just Jessica has triggered a lot of thoughts with me because, you think about, well, what is hurt, right? Are you talking about when I stomp my toe, or when, I don't get my way, or when someone says something, or when I'm misunderstood, when I lose a loved one. So hurt has so many faces, right? And it can come in so many different ways. But at the end of the day, my husband has a phrase: hurt hurts when it hurts, right? Mm-hmm. So your hurt is going to hurt. And I can't tell you that you're not hurting. So I kind of thought of just a little bit about what is hurt. And no one can tell you that you're not hurting, because sometimes you hear people like, get over it, or it's not that serious, or, anyway. So just going back to your own individual feelings about or experiences, for me, with my spiritual motivation, because it started with me. My spirituality has encouraged me, has guided me through every area of my life, including hurt, whether it is loss of a loved one or, misunderstood, whatever it is. When I have that, it has, it's been a journey, to Jessica's point. It didn't happen overnight. I just didn't wake up like this. But, after a while, relying on my faith and the word of God. There's so many Bible verses and scriptures that has helped me along the way. I remember, just crying out and praying to God, but not just talking, but then in that quiet moment. And then I open up the word. And when he took me to, I will heal you, and I will deliver you. And oh my God, there's so many scriptures, about how to behave and what he is and who he is to me. So you can see it's kind of getting a little emotional with me. But the word of God, the Bible, and my communication has been so helpful. So then I realized, it can all happen for me after I pray and after I read the word and I meditate it. And sometimes it's a big pill to swallow. So he'll say, hey, they can only give you what they have. What you're expecting from them, you can only get from me. And then I have to process that. And then I come out like, wow, I've gone to therapy and I feel really good. So yeah, that spirituality, that faith in God, but it really takes maturity. So that has really, that's what self-love looks like to me. It's
And
relying
one
on
thing
my
that you said, Tammy, in the beginning, what you utilized the word trigger. And
Mm,
for the ones who's listening, how do you know that you're dealing with hurt? Simply by that word she just said. Like when things happen, what triggers you? Why did it trigger you? You know, those are the
oh,
things that we consider to hurt us deeply, hurt us to the core. Because normally when something is triggered, oh, it went deep and you react to it. But over the time, those
yeah.
same things they don't bother you no more. And me personally, my journey, I'm telling y'all, I just went through it on yesterday. Like for our listeners, our viewers, I've been very transparent about my divorce and the things that happened throughout the divorce. And I'm still getting some like, why you so bitter? But I noticed on yesterday, y'all, I was at my niece's graduation and he started the rant. I was like, this is not going to bother me today. I was like, go do something healthy and leave me
Oh,
Not bothered.
alone. But the old Jess, a year or so back, what he did on yesterday, that would have bothered me to my
mm,
core. Till
mhm.
I needed to get a reaction out of him. I was going to consistently do something to get a reaction out of him because I want him to feel how he made me feel.
Mm.
But on yesterday, I
Mhm.
realized, I'm bigger than that. Go do something healthy and leave me alone. That's
Wow.
how you overcome those things. But it took a lot of self um, personal development from me
Yeah.
as well to be able to no longer allow those things to bother me or
My,
to Tammy's word to trigger me.
And that's good, Jessica, because yeah, you do have real life things that do different affect people different ways. And Tammy, to your point, we are all very unique. And
mhm.
what is hurt to one may not be hurt to another. Just my one story that comes to mind for me is just this week, one of my very best girlfriends lost her mom. And
Mhm.
I didn't reach out to her immediately because I was thinking I lost my mom and I lost my son. And I don't remember anything that anyone said that made it better. It's like, and so I didn't really know what to say to her, except I did share that there was nothing that anyone ever said to me that made those two incidents in my life any better. Being a personal development coach, being spiritual, none of it helped me. But I just wanted her to know that I was here for her 24/7 and that I loved her. So you let me know what you need from me, if anything. And just how I got past those two things for me, and everyone is saying it in their own way, but it's just a choice every day when you get up. You have a choice to stay there in that hurt and think of every other hurtful thing that you can to keep you spiraling downward, or you can decide to show up. You can decide to be present, to practice mindfulness, all of the things that you know and are not going to necessarily make you feel better, but the more you behave, the more you are alive and you are intentional about how you want to show up in the world, the more you is how self-love looks to me after a hurt. So I show up as the person that I want to be despite all that went on. And you know how you can have some self-talk and second guess yourself. It's like, it sounds like you need therapy because you didn't really deal with that. But for me, the self-talk and telling myself to be here for everybody who's still here and make those who have left proud because I'm showing up as my best self and I'm going to help others in any way that I can as well. So that's what it looks like for me.
That's so
Yeah,
good, yeah.
that is. And for me, I think Miss Tammy, you touched on it, like the spirituality piece of it. So I have experience, and I always say if you are blessed enough, right, to be able to experience hurt, then we all, you learn from it, you grow from it. And I'm not necessarily talking about like grieving the loss of someone. Nobody wants to lose a loved one, right? I've been there. I am still going through, I feel like, the grieving process, and it's been almost 2 years since I lost someone very near and dear to me, which is my grandfather. But I'm talking about like things like breakups and, all those types of things help you, I feel like, to become stronger, right? It helps you to do some introspective work, and to really be able to see, what is it that I want? What is it that I need? How can I show up as my best self, and just really to put in that work, right? And so I think that what you gain on the other side, of course, while you're going through, it feels like you can't make it. And that, at least for me, like it felt like this is the end of the world, and so coming out on the other side, it's like I survived, this. And if I can survive this, and this is how strong and resilient that I am. I've dealt with my emotions. I can deal with my emotions. I didn't go crazy. I'm a Gemini, and people always tell me like they don't know that I'm a Gemini, because I guess I don't act like the typical, like crazy Gemini. Have I had thoughts of, do I wish that I could be able to go and slash a tire or do something like that? I mean, the thought has crossed my mind, but I've never acted out in that type of way. And so I think, my faith, my spirituality, my relationship with God, and knowing that this is temporary, prayerfully, that is temporary. But I do know that therapy, has helped me going through this loss with my grandfather. Therapy, and like you said, just showing up as your best self, because you want to continue to make those people proud, right? But for me, I know that my children helped me because I had to show up for them. I had to show up for, my husband. I had to continue to do the things that were, even though I was given grace, I still had to keep going. I had to cook, I had to clean, I had to educate, since I'm a homeschooler. I had to do these things. And so I think
remembering my why right now.
Yeah, remembering my why. So my spirituality, and also too,
Leah, that was a choice that you made. You didn't
so,
have to. You made a choice to.
Yeah. And there are days, where I just, for no reason, like Jessica said, you don't know when it's going to hit you, how it's going to hit you. Sometimes I cry. I could hear the right song, right? That's really moving. Sometimes I get chills and I'm like, oh, he's there. I feel him by me. Cause I think sometimes they say when you're emotional, right? That's when, or the tears start to flow. That's when the person who you are like grieving the most, who has passed on, is like right there comforting you. You can't see them, you can't feel them, but they're right. They're letting you know they're right there. And so again, I know time, right? Spirituality, and then also making a choice to show up.
I just love that word, you guys, that, Gail started with a choice, because see, and to me, I think sometimes the misconception is because you are spiritual or you're relying on your faith that you're in denial and everything's going to magically go away. And no. He tells you to choose this day who you're going to serve. Are you going to serve that pain, that hurt? Or are you going to serve health and life and joy? And then it's also like, many are the afflictions of the righteous. So it's like you're going to go through things. And that's when you really tap into, it's deeper than just going to church, right? So we're talking about a relationship with God through his word. And a lot of times we don't know him as in that way because we're young when we were introduced to him, but now we're mature, and through a lot of, studying, you learn that, oh my God, Jesus suffered. He was hung on a cross. So if he's the elder brother, he's an example. We had the WWJD era. What would Jesus do? Right. And I would always honestly, at some point I started equating my hurt. How did he handle this hurt? Just from a spiritual, it really helped me because he was talked about. He was misunderstood. He actually went through physical pain. So it really does help me. But to Gail's point, it is a choice. You have to choose who you're going to serve. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jessica.
I was just saying it's constant. It's a constant decision every day, every moment. Like the decisions you make in that moment affects the next thing, and the next
Woo!
thing. Constant. You have to make the
But
choice.
But I also think that you have to allow yourself to experience those feelings too. Like if you're feeling something, you have to definitely be in the moment. Allow yourself to go through whatever it is that you're feeling, because that helps. That can sometimes just be a relief, right? Or a release of whatever you're building up on the inside. There are times when I feel, like I may hold things in sometimes. Or I don't know if they still use the word like ghost, I may like get ghost for a while, right? And just shut down and go inward. But yeah, and I've learned that just to allow yourself that moment, but like it's been said, don't stay there. You have to make a choice in order to, continue. Are you going to stay there in that place, or are you going to continue to try to, gain your strength and to go out there and show up as your best self? Because ultimately we have to continue on, throughout the hurt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a makeup too of who we are. We
that
throughout
resiliency.
my nonprofit is we say grow through what you go through. And it's all a part of our DNA. We have to endure some things. So the mess that we're in, we're able to share our message now. Our mess becomes our message. So we're able to share those things with the individuals behind us who needed that. So we have to endure the fire some to be able to come out on the other side and be a testimony to, okay, just because things look like that right now doesn't mean it's going to last forever. I've been through this, and look at me now.
Wow.
That's right. That becomes a story. And Leah, to your point, that was good, because I think acceptance and forgiveness is a lot of what you're talking about, because we have to accept the fact that we are human and we're going to have these emotions, and it's okay. Forgive yourself for even thinking that you can't do that. Give yourself some grace, go through those emotions, deal with it, and then come out of it.
Yeah.
I love it, because this is just sounded like, so it's therapeutic, right? When you hear it, because as Jessica was speaking, I was thinking to Liv's point about, being in that moment, right? And again, hey, I'm the spiritual motivator, right? It's weeping may endure for a night. Oh, it's gonna happen. It's okay to cry. Actually, tears are healing, right? So that weeping, I heard Jessica talk about endure, right? Go through that. Don't suppress it. And that's what took me to my quiet place. That's what took me to that spiritual place, because of those emotions and how I was feeling. And it endured, but for a moment, right? And then to Jessica's point, you come out on the other side.
Yeah.
And I love these types of conversations, just letting people know you can get through this. You have to make a choice and take all of this. I believe we're throwing a lot out here from our personal experiences. But Jessica said, your mess will become your message. Your test will become your testimony. So endure, and watch it. But a lot of support is available. How about that, right?
Yes.
You have to tap into that. You can.
Yeah. And
real quickly, I know you get ready to jump in, but just want to say that, oh my goodness, did I lose my point? What's that? Okay, go ahead, Liv.
I was just going to talk about, cut me off when you get it, but how Jessica said, yes, your mess becomes your message. And so, yes, our mess becomes our message, but also having a network or support and reaching out to people is very important in the healing process, as well, and elevating from hurt. And so just like your mess becomes your message, somebody else has a message too. So let's say if I went through something that you all have gone through, I can reach back and, talk to you to say, hey, how did you come out of this? Or what steps did you take? How did you heal? What was your process? So that way I can maybe incorporate some of those things, but knowing that you're getting it out. You're not just necessarily suppressing or holding in your feelings. So I think community and talking to other people who have gone through, and people too who may have an open mind, who aren't going to just tell you this is what you need to do or this is what you should do, but just say that this is, I'm giving you encouragement. This is how I overcame. This is how I elevated or healed from hurt, and how I am learning to love myself again, and then trying to, incorporate maybe some of those things in. But network is very important.
Absolutely. And
I
not
just thought oh, go ahead, Jessica.
Go ahead.
I was just, and mine's is short. I was just thinking about allowing the process of time. Jessica started. It's a journey. This is not a microwave. We're not talking about some quick, event or occurrence, or just get over it and it happens. Just, what? Allow time, right? There's a saying, time heals all wounds. And isn't that a saying? I believe it is.
It's a saying.
If it's not, it's one now.
It's one. We've said so much, not to feel guilty because you're uncomfortable. You deserve. Oh, that's it. Ooh, yeah, I got mine back. You're gonna get yours. I'm praying. But it was being okay with being uncomfortable, because we say that like in the workspace, in your development, when you're in, trying to pursue a career. But do we say that when you're hurt? Oh, I don't like to feel this pain. I don't want to feel this emotion. I don't want to be angry or to be upset. But it's okay, because God gave you that emotion, right? Feel it, embrace it. And look, we got to apply the right, whatever it is, to help you get on the other side of it. So, hey, you know what? Yeah.
And so what I was going to say was just real quick and simple. And Leah touched on it before, but there are times when we're hurt or angered or whatever, but there were times even before this time, and we always get through it. We always overcome. We're overcomers. And this is just another one of those times, and we'll overcome. So that is something to think about. But also being comfortable, being uncomfortable. We do say that all the time. So, I was just talking at the top of the hour about that 14-day fast that I was on. And I used to fast when I was, in church, we did it like 3 times a year, but it was only 5 days a week. But with this 14-day fast, that was no joke. And so when I'm on, let's say day 7, day 8, and it's like, okay, this is amazeballs. I need to eat something because this is ridiculous how I'm feeling. And it's like, really? Are we going based on feelings now? So you're uncomfortable, but you don't really want to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And then I would go right to that cross. Oh yeah, Jesus was probably a little uncomfortable too up on that cross. Good thing he didn't come down. And he did that for his life. You do 14 days. So yeah, that whole self-talk.
It's a roller coaster ride. It's up, down, but you're able to talk yourself through it.
Yes, embrace being uncomfortable, because when you do more, you get more.
Come on now.
I love it.
This is church today. I just feel so these tools, you ladies, I'm just, for me, it is like, wow, this is really how we get through it. There's a song, this is how I fight my battles. Well, what are we talking about? What battles? See, we say a lot of good stuff, but when it happens, we want to run, we want to hide, we want to get away. And we're saying, no. And how about this, you guys? You're not always going to, Jessica said it, you're not going to be able to retaliate or get someone back. It is not even about them. This is your own personal development. Use it as an opportunity to grow, to learn about yourself, right? To know your triggers, know how. So it is just life. And I love it. We said it. It's a journey. Embrace it. It's going to happen. If you guys have not hurt, you will.
I think a lot of people try to also make their story resemble the next person's story because theirs was good, but you can't do that. Throughout, another moment of transparency, throughout my divorce, we did the counseling. We did counseling at church, and only thing I heard was, stay together, stay together. You got kids, stay together. So I started finding myself saying, okay, I'm gonna stay in this relationship, I'm gonna stay in this marriage for my kids. But on the flip side, are my kids really benefiting from seeing all of this toxicity? No, they weren't. And so I made a decision like, no, this is enough. And when I made that decision, I consulted with the people I needed to in the first stages. And so in the second stage, I said, nah, I need to have this conversation with God again, just me and him. Let me figure this. Let's figure this thing out together. And so one day I just woke up. I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I want a divorce. And I remember he was laying on the sofa. I said, I want a divorce. That very next day, I went to my attorney. She drawed up the papers. I gave him the paperwork that same day. I said, you need to sign these and have these notarized. You can read through the paperwork. If everything looked good to you, let's go. And he went and got the papers notarized with his signature. And when he gave me the paper, I'm in the third stage now. And I'm on my way to the attorney office. And I'm having that doubt again. So it's time to make another decision. It's like, oh my God, fear just started hitting me upside the head. Like, wow, you never did this before. You about to be a single mom. Every thought, imagine, was hitting me all at once. And I get to this red light. And I kid you guys not, it felt like God was in the back seat of my car. I turned around and I heard the voice so loud, you don't trust me. And I just wept right there at the light. The light was turning green. I couldn't even hit the gas, y'all. I was just weeping in the car because I heard God say, you don't trust me. And when I did get the strength to hit the gas, I remember saying, I trust you, God. I trust you. I went into my lawyer's office and she said, what's wrong? Are you having second doubts? I said, I did, but I know I'm doing the right thing. And I gave those papers to her. But that was my journey. That was that all in like instead of 2 days, a whole roller coaster of a life change. We're talking about a life change. Like my kids, how this is gonna affect my kids, how this affecting me. Like all of those emotions was right there, going through the ups and the downs, but I got through it, and I did not allow somebody else to dictate the decision that was going to be needed for my life, because this is my life. And you can't allow other people decisions to pull on you and say, hey, I'm gonna do it the way they did it too. No, you got to make that decision for yourself. And so again, in closing, I think we're coming up on our time. In closing, healing from hurt is a journey, you guys. And it's your journey to take. It's not gonna mirror everybody else's journey. You got to be able to be willing and make the decision to take your journey in the direction that you want it to go. What is it? What's the outcome that you want from all of this?
I hear buckle up, put your seatbelts on, buckle up.
Put your garment on, let's go.
Don't forget to celebrate small wins, y'all. When you're able to get out of bed just one day, that's a win. Celebrate that small win.
See the green. Beautiful. Love it. Hey, you guys, this was great. Thank you so much. Yeah, we had this discussion.
Healing through the hurt.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Okay.